Did you hear that?
It's okay. It's okay. It's under construction.
Yeah.
It's under construction, nail gun. Yeah. Well, here we are with Roger Mooking, Everyday Exotic, the new cookbook. Yeah. I mean, it says the cookbook, but it's the new cookbook because this is not your first book.
This is my first book.
It's your first. Yeah, it is. It is your first one. That's. I know. I always think you've done one before, but you haven't.
A lot of people think
yeah, I know. I know. Why is that? Why haven't you done anything up till now?
It's time. I've been busy, and now I decided we got to do it.
No, you got to do it, or you're gonna just not. Because originally we were going to have you in our new demo kitchen, which is attached to the store, but we just took you on a tour of that. Yeah. So we're gonna have you back. Already we haven't even had you here, and then we're having you back. I know, because it's great to see. Because you're a graduate of the George Brown program.
I am, and now I'm the chair of the advisory committee.
Yeah, that's cool.
It's like such an honor to do that.
Yeah.
A little bit. It's more like making sure that the program is formed with what current needs are today, and guiding that and signing off on it.
Well, it's good to have people in the industry as opposed to people who've been tenured so long they forget what it's like to be out there.
And that's a big part of what it's about.
Yeah, absolutely. Now back to the book though. So you've taken this long to write it. Did you enjoy the process?
It's a very
enjoy might not be the right word.
No, I did actually. It's the very first book that I've ever written. I co-wrote it with the executive producer of the show.
Yes.
So we just would sit down and powwow and bang out ideas and send them back and forth and send them to the publisher, and they rip it apart.
as they do, yeah.
And kind of restart that whole thing again. But I really liked the process of it. Yeah. It was a lot of fun to kind of delve into the stories and inspiration.
And that's what some of the authors always say to us. The writing part, they find almost the most challenging to make it interesting. But you didn't seem to have any problem with that. I mean, you have great stories, great little chats about all your...
That was just conversation.
Yeah, exactly. And that really shines through. But you talk about flavors, talk about aroma in all of these, and you've got all the major ones. But what about texture? Do you ever
I think of texture in every single dish. It's critical. It's of critical importance. Yeah. I mean, you eat with your eyes first. Yes, that's true. Everybody knows that. The flavor has to be there. But if everything is just soft and mushy, you lose the context of the flavor. You want everything to be building in layers of flavor and textures, right? So I think of texture every single dish.
Yeah, because I noticed that too in you. You don't talk about it per se, but it does come through in how you layer your dishes.
It's critical. That's the restaurant chef in me, making sure that happens, right? Yeah.
How do you cut off though? Like, I mean, you've got 50 ingredients in here. I mean, you probably could have written another 50 ingredients.
We easily could have. It's very kind of refined thing. We're building off of what the brand of the show is.
Right.
So people are familiar with that. So there's that element to it. But we also want to make sure that people can actually execute these recipes.
Yeah, what a concept, huh?
Right?
Yeah, I know.
You could be in Alberta and find cilantro.
Yeah.
And you can actually make that recipe. That to me was really meaningful because that's where the power is. I can go and I can show this to chefs all day long, and chefs, will write 7-page long recipes, and that's cool. But it's about empowering, educating just the average person to expand their palate, right?
Excellent. No, I fully believe that too, and I think you do a great job of that.
Thank you.
So what would you give young chefs today when you see them? What do you say to them? I mean, what would be your advice to them? Get out of the kitchen? No.
No. 2 things is do not underestimate how hard the work is.
Yeah.
I always say that to them, And speaking as a person on TV, it's easy to look at a TV show and you see the edits happen, but you don't realize the hour that passed in between that last edit and how many stock pots will have to be lifted to make that jus and all that kind of stuff. And I think they underestimate because it's easy to observe that from a couch and look at a finished plate on Iron Chef and go, oh, I could do that. I just saw them do that in an hour. Right?
I know, but meanwhile,
totally different game.
And how do you find TV then? Because you do come from a professional kitchen to the TV world. Did you find that transition? Like, was it a little challenging, or was it?
Well, I come from entertainment background as well.
Yeah, that's true.
So the music, I spent years on stages and doing shows. So the whole entertainment aspect of that was very natural for me. But TV has a very specific framework.
There's a structure.
There's a bit of a structure to it, and for me, what was always different, before I was in a band and we're performing, and as a musician, you could do anything. Like,
a lot of creativity.
There's a lot of creative license for anything that you dream of, right? With the framework of a show like this, the broadcaster has very specific ideas about demographics and positioning it as well, but also you have to be authentic to what the show is about, and stay somewhat within that framework, but have fun. And what I found most difficult was just talking down the gun of a camera.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'm not talking to anybody, right?
No, there's nobody out there.
I have no guests. I'm not chit-chatting with anybody. It's
and
just,
you thrive on more like immediate.
I'm a people person.
Yeah,
I like to talk to people and crack jokes.
And if there's just a camera there, it's inanimate and it's not.
Oh, it's hard. And
so that was a huge thing for you, right?
And there's like 20 people behind the camera that nobody sees, right? And they're just staring at you going, you better not mess this up. Lunch is in 20 minutes.
That's right. And we're on union, so we're quick whether you finish or not.
Well,
right?
it's not union, but...
No, but it is a,
there's that pressure, you know, and everything bottlenecks through the host. You know, so the stylist is there, the set decorator, the design of the space, the lighting,
so
the camera people.
You can't have a hissy fit.
Well, just everything, all of everybody's work is channeled through the host in those 22 minutes. So it's a lot of pressure, and
but you do well. You're great on TV.
I just decided not to listen to the pressure. Just go have fun and.
Oh, that's good.
Screw everything.
No, they're not hearing you.
Just have fun.
What would you say? What ingredients would you say that the average Canadian should try? I mean, you know, as you say with Alberta, maybe they don't have access to a lot of stuff, but if they could, what would really, you know, because everybody says, you know, add one new ingredient to your repertoire and you'll increase your recipes, you know, however many fold. Yeah. But what would you say would be something that people should expand their?
Well, you know, there's 50 ingredients in here that I think everybody needs to investigate. How's that?
That's perfect. Well done. Good marketer. Good marketer. What's your favorite ingredient, though?
You know, it changes every day.
Yeah, it's like when people say to me, what's your favorite cookbook? Well, today, yesterday, this week?
It changes every day.
But is there one you go to, like in the kitchen, you have to have it all the time?
You know what? I've been cooking professionally for about 20 years. Yep. And I've grew up in a family where cooking was always a thing. So most often, I draw a reference from experience, less than from cookbooks. Right? So I do have I got cookbooks like this wall, you know?
Good man.
But I use them as reference tools mostly now.
So if you were to have what kind of knife? Do you have a whole bunch of knives? Do you have knives in your kitchen that you can't do without?
I have so many knives.
Yeah, do you? Are you a bit of a knife addiction?
I have a little
bit of a fetish on knives, huh?
Yeah, I got a thing with knives. I have a drawer with about a dozen knives in it. Yeah. I got a knife roll with another 20 knives in it. I have a backup kit with another 10 knives in it.
Do you collect them though? Like, do you go when you travel? Do you search out? Some people do. I mean, some people collect cookbooks when they travel. Some people collect knives.
Well, when I'm traveling, it's usually for work, and I don't have much free time to investigate much.
And you got travel on. You're not going to take a knife on your.
Yeah, that's
carry-on stuff, you know, right?
So I have to carry knives sometimes for demos and stuff that I'm doing around. So, but I do like knives, you know, and I got a couple hookups that I can call and say, yo, I saw this knife. How about you send that to me? And so I'm lucky like that. You know?
What ingredients do you see in the future? Like, what are the ones that you think are going to become mainstream that aren't now? Like, what do you see when you travel, and what are you finding?
What is going to be mainstream?
I mean, look at lemongrass. You know, 20 years ago, nobody knew. And now, you know, you can find it in your local grocery store.
Oh, that's a great question, actually. It's hard to anticipate. It's like asking, what's the next food trend?
Yeah. Well,
you know, a few years ago, we could have said sliders. And now it's like, is it fried chicken or is it tacos?
Oh, I know.
Right?
I know.
Everybody's on fried chicken, tacos, and burgers right now, right? So I don't know. I don't try to anticipate that stuff. I just do what I feel great about and tell people about it.
Right.
And sometimes people pick up on that, or you know, Michael Smith might do something that just like blows people away.
And next thing you know, there's a run on blueberries or something.
Exactly. Do you know what I mean? I don't try.
Well, listen. Let's hope there's a run on all these 50 ingredients. Thank you, Roger. Excellent as always.
Thank you very much.
We'll have you back. Kitchen.
Thank you. Oh yeah, I'd like to come back. It's a beautiful kitchen.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
Peace, peace, peace.